Smile.
Hello, nerds! Nerds for humanity. I am here with the two Nerdlings for a special edition. We are going to react to President Trump's farewell address, and then we might even do a little bit of fact-checking if my young Nerdlings can stay focused. But before that, should we get Andrew to warm us up? Should we?
Yeah.
Warm it up, Andrew!
Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and Drew, come roll with the Yang Gang. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and.
Hello, nerds!
Hello, nerd.
Woo! All right, so we are here to take a look together at President Trump's farewell address. And before we get into it, Nerdlings, do you want to introduce yourselves to the audience?
I can go first.
All right, go ahead.
I'm Brandon. I'm the younger one, and I'm just really happy today.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm Ryan, and yeah, Ryan.
That's it. All right. That's all people need to know. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So let's. Are you guys ready to talk about this this farewell address? What do you think? What do you think it's? Do you think President Trump is going to show some humility, some sort of make a honest gentleman's concession to President-elect Biden?
I think he will, but I don't think he would like do it. Like it won't be his words. Like somebody will have made him say that.
Oh, so you think he's going to be reading off of like Ivanka's script?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
just
something,
like they
because he's
accused
not-
us.
he does not like-
our turn to accuse him.
He doesn't like admitting defeat ever.
He does not like admitting defeat. But you know, you guys, if you lose in a game, what do you do after you lose in the game?
You shake
play
hands
fair.
and say, "Good game."
Yes. You do not say that it was rigged or stolen.
Yeah.
Fraud. There was fraud.
And you do not break into the other team's locker room and try and
Attack
take them hostage.
Yeah, and like
Right? Okay. So let's see if the president surprises us. You never know. Maybe he will kind of take the high road. And here we have a video of his. So I'm gonna try and see if I can share this. Hopefully this works. Ooh, looky. It worked. Okay, here we go.
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens.
Right off the bat, restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. This is the guy who told his followers to break into the Capitol.
yeah, like,
Unbelievable, like the audacity of this man. I'm already kind of angry at him.
yeah.
He's like saying this like even
He's
though
like-
he asked people to storm the
Yeah,
like,
even
he
though he
just
said
said,
it was
like, go.
it was rigged, it was stolen, the fake victory
We
of
have to
Biden,
fight
right?
back,
All
like,
this
all that.
nonsense, all this nonsense. All right, let's see what else he says. This piece of work. I'm already
Angry.
disappointed.
In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term
And when he says all Americans, he means the ones that supported him.
as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do.
What was that? Basically to have record polarization, 400,000 dead, the entire rest of the world like completely befuddled by us. Oh, you want to let the dog out? Miss Daisy wants to go outside. Hold on.
And so much more. This
and so much more.
Oh my God.
week we inaugurate a new administration.
Oh, somebody's saying there's an echo.
Echo.
Okay, hold on. If there's an echo.
Echo.
All right. Hold on. Let me make sure I can get this working. Oh, with a little sign here. What does that mean? Use echo cancellation.
That's smart.
Oh boy, we just turned on echo cancellation, folks. Let me so Beatrice, let us know if you still hear echo. Hopefully you don't. I just used some fancy feature, which is made possible by Nerds for Humanity members. Thank you for your support. Hit that join link.
And definitely do super chats.
Don't forget to, ooh, what's that? Yes, now it has a little call out. I love it. Okay, so let's keep going. I got a lot of windows open.
And pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word.
What does that even mean?
First of all, I
luck and very important word.
I think just by listening to him, like he's not normally like this confident and stuff. So maybe he should be. Maybe he already. Well, if he's looking towards the camera, maybe he's not looking at a script. But
I don't know. I think he's doing a little ad lib now. He's doing ad lib, which is basically like adding his own random stuff.
I'd like to begin by thanking just a few of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible.
Okay, now this, you got to give him credit, because he's probably going to, this is the part where he's going to say, I want to thank everybody who voted, no matter who they voted for participating in the greatest democracy ever. You know, like that, I mean, you got to respect him for acknowledging that.
First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation.
Okay, so at this point, he's going to thank all people who participated in this election, whether they voted for me or not.
Yes.
I celebrate the power of the American democratic system.
To my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Baron, Don, Eric.
To Baron and Don?
They didn't.
What is Don doing?
You should just.
Okay, hold on.
What the heck?
Now they're saying it sounds quiet. Don't worry, I can hook you guys up. All right, I'm going to give you a little more. Thank you, Jagato.
Tiffany and Lara, you fill my world with light and with joy. I also want.
You fill my world with light and joy. That doesn't sound like him at all.
Yeah, like usually he's criticizing.
Normally
I think that's
he's
Ivanka. You know what that's like? That's like sometimes when mom buys our niece's presents,
and then
and then I'm not aware of it.
And she writes saying like.
And then they're like, "Oh, thank you, Uncle Tom, for the such and such." I'm like, "Oh yes, you're welcome." And so I think in this case, but maybe Donald does talk about how people fill his life with light and joy.
Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen, and the entire Pence family.
His wife's name is Karen?
Oh my God.
That is appropriate.
Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff, and the cabinet, and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service. My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House Military Office, the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country.
All right, in this case, we should give him credit that he is thanking the people that work for him. So at some point, he should thank and congratulate his opponent. Hopefully. Do you think he'll do that in the middle or the end?
I think he might do it to the end of his talk.
Yeah, at the end, he'll thank and congratulate Biden.
Most of all,
oh, Brandon just whispered to me that that there are Trumpers here. Are there Trumpers in the chat?
Spies.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
We want to, hey, listen, one of the things that we want to do is have open communications between different perspectives. And if there are Trump supporters in the chat, we welcome you. We thank you for participating and sharing this experience with us. I will warn you, just in full disclosure, I am not a fan of Trump. So if you are coming to hear a lot of praise of Trump, you may not get a ton, but where it's appropriate, we will provide it.
First of all, I want to thank the American people. To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege.
Oh, did you say we have a verified
we
nerd?
Have a verified nerd. Welcome.
Well, ring the bell, bro. Ring the bell. Oh, bro, not in my ear.
My ears are dead now.
All right, next time.
Hello, nerds!
Okay,
All right.
I like that.
Okay. Let's keep going.
And that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were...
Now, you heard that he was just talking about how we want to be a peaceful approach.
Country to thrive and flourish and be very... We are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens.
Peace-loving citizens. This is the same guy that 2 weeks ago
Ordered people.
sent the whole crowd into the Capitol building.
An angry mob.
And when the angry mob was asked, why did they go? They said, our president told us to.
Yeah, and like they killed the policeman with the first one.
With the fire extinguisher. All right.
Who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol.
Horrified by the assault on our Capitol.
Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated.
It can never be tolerated. Who is this talking?
Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values.
Oh, Beatrice wants to know what happened to MAGA Monday. And the answer, oops, you can't see it. The answer, Beatrice, is that MAGA brother was out partying and couldn't wake up in time. And I told him, hey, man, when you make a commitment, you should keep to it.
Yeah, but he was partying out.
We agreed on a certain time and date, and he did not reply. But this is not surprising because MAGA brother is a little bit less predictable.
Yeah, and he's probably at, like, bars.
Yeah, he's at bars.
Values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at
wait a minute.
skylines.
Hold on. Wait, Milo. I think Milo is one of the Trump supporters.
Yes. Yeah.
First of all, welcome Milo to the conversation. Thank you for joining. I think it is possible for him to have used the words go peacefully, but then it's also possible for the last 2 months for him to have been convincing his followers that this was a stolen election.
With lots of fraud.
With fraud that was rigged and people are trying to steal and throw away your votes. And when the people who invaded the Capitol were interviewed, they literally said that. They said, oh, well, we were doing what our president wanted us to do.
They thought they were doing the right thing.
Now, did Donald Trump give like a step-by-step instructions, like with a diagram of this is where, Pennsylvania Avenue ends and go through this door and then take the fire extinguisher and beat this man in the head till he dies? No, he did not do that. But that doesn't mean that you're not responsible. you may not have directed the violence, but you caused it to happen. And here's the question I would ask everybody. If Trump had just conceded like a normal person, would he have, would they still have invaded the Capitol? If he had conceded in the second week of November,
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't.
they would not have, right? So, therefore, by definition, Trump took actions that resulted in an outcome. It doesn't mean he directly broke into the Capitol himself, but it does mean that he influenced. Exactly right. He influenced it, and he took action that basically fanned those flames. But let's keep going.
Imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hard...
Wait, are you replying to them, Ryan?
Well,
Brendan?
some of them, yeah.
Are you debating with them?
Some of them I just
Oh
have
my
to.
God. All right, well, please use
Yeah, I know.
proper language and be respectful.
Yeah.
You can disagree with people, but be respectful, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard-working patriots across this land. We built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat, but about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible. Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration.
All right, we actually went through the regulatory changes that he slashed, and most of it was around environmental protections. So this notion that he helped all these businesses is like, well, he helped a bunch of energy companies who like to burn, coal and drill for oil. I don't know if it's like there was this great startup revolution of entrepreneurship under him.
Might have actually hurt the nation long term.
Probably. That's the risk.
Had ever done before. We fixed our broken trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord, renegotiated the one-sided South Korea deal, and we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great...
All right, we'll get into the China stuff. I do want to do a quick fact check. Luckily, our buddies at the Washington Post gave a little bit of clarity on we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the world. This is, okay, he likes to say this a lot. Add. The gross domestic product grew at an annual rate of 2.3% in 2019, slipping from 2.9% in 2018 and 2.4% in 2017. So that's the growth under Trump, 2.3, 2.9, 2.4. In 1997, 98, 99, the GDP grew 4.5%, 4.5%, 4.7%. And then in the 1950s and 60s, it grew 4.4 to 6.6%.
8.7.
And then 1950 and 51 is 8.7 and 8%. Now, that is described by President Trump as the greatest economy in the history of the world. And I suspect what he's doing is he's saying, well, we had the highest absolute dollar GDP, but basically every president pretty much, like Obama, he could have made the same claim, the most powerful economy in the history of the country, because it has grown consistently. It's sort of like when Apple says, oh, the fastest iPhone ever. It's like, yeah, of course. It's always a little bit faster than the last one. And the economy, unless it's in a recession, or actually, yeah, unless it's in a recession, it's going to have growth, right? Or if it's a depression. But that rarely happens. But anyway, let's keep going.
Great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus. Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built. Without the foundations and footings.
All right, so number one, at what point is he going to mention that the coronavirus killed 400,000 Americans?
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
No,
what about you, Brandon? You think he will?
Too engrossed in the
Are you
chat.
paying attention, Brandon, or are you in the chat?
Well, mostly the chat.
All right, so how about this? Your job is to keep the chat lively, and also if you see anyone being completely inappropriate, you can put them on a timeout.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you and I will actually have a discussion.
Don't
Okay.
ask me any questions.
You will no longer be asked questions, Brandon. So for the live stream, Brandon is now going to be focusing entirely on engaging with you in the chat. He's
Security.
Yeah.
security.
Security.
He's security. He's also, I was going to say, he's also only, 10 years old.
Yes.
So please use appropriate language. Appreciate that. All right. So he keeps talking about the economy. There are some other things we should share, about the economy.
Hey, speaking of.
Yes. He talks about we built the greatest political movement. No, where's the stuff about the economy? I think, okay, he's going to talk about tax cuts and reforms. Even before Trump's tax cut was crafted, he promised it would be biggest in history. Reagan's tax cut was 2.9% of the GDP, and Trump was 0.9% of the GDP. So I think this is another half-truth. Like in dollar terms, it was the largest dollar tax cut, but as a percent of the overall economy, it was smaller.
Yeah.
So this is a case where, the Donald likes to talk about, he makes things that are small appear very big, like his hands.
Sneaky.
Like his hands.
And like his face, kind of orange.
Okay. Actually, let's try and be nice. I should not have made fun of his hands. Sorry.
It wouldn't have worked out this way. We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had. We also unlocked our energy resources and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas, by far.
Now, that's something where you wonder, is that something you want to brag about, that you are the largest producer of fossil fuels?
I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I would rather say we are the largest producer of renewable energy. That would be awesome.
But this is kind of counterproductive thing that, not really good thing to brag about.
Yeah, that's like saying we produce more carbon dioxide than any other country. It's not always, but it matches his style because it's easy to just allow oil companies to drill more. It's much harder than coming up with renewable energy. That requires planning and coordination, and that's not his strength.
Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and millions were lifted from poverty in just...
I mean, dude, we've already talked about all of this stuff about the economy that he likes to kind of brag about. And the reality is, yes, on the one hand, before the pandemic, unemployment rate did go down, but I think he's failing to acknowledge that
There's a virus.
he totally bungled the response to the virus, right? Like, all he did was block flights from China. And when you're in a global pandemic, that's maybe necessary but not sufficient. Do you know what necessary but not sufficient means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Like it's like required, but you need more.
Exactly. And he didn't do more. Like, he could have required mandatory quarantine for all people flying in from overseas, not just China, all countries, like what a lot of countries do now. He could have required mandatory testing before people board flights coming into the country.
Yeah,
He could have required mandatory masks in public places. Anyway.
A few short years. It was a miracle. Stock market set one record after another with 148 stock market highs during this short period of time.
All right, this is a classic Trump sort of technically true but misleading. Like, when you hear 145 record set, it's basically in the course of 4 years, basically it's about 50 weeks a year, so 200 weeks. And he's saying 145 days, or like 365 days times 4. It's about 1,500 days. So 1 out of every 10 days, there was a new stock market high. That high may have only been like 0.1 points higher than the previous high, but generally in a growing market, you're often setting new records. Like in the Obama and the Clinton administration, they set market rate highs. They never would brag about how many days they set a new high. Not to mention, most Americans do not own a lot of stock, if any, for that to matter. But he doesn't really...
He's just trying to make himself look good.
Yes, that's his thing. He's sort of like condo salesman bragging about, like, oh, this thing has marble floors, and meanwhile, like, yeah, that's not that big of a deal, and they're like, secondhand marble floors from the unit, down the hall that threw it away.
And boosted the retirements and pensions of hardworking citizens all across our nation. 401ks are at a level they've never been at before.
Every president in a growing stock market can say 401ks have been at a level that they've never been at before. Right?
We can all say that.
Everybody can say that. So, like, are we going to spend this whole speech? Just basically, it's like they had a meeting where they were like, what are some things that we can say that sound really great but don't really help people? Day-to-day people, because right now this country is reeling with an inability to deal with a global pandemic. He has not given a White House coronavirus task force press conference like in months, and here he is bragging about 401ks.
We've never seen numbers like we've seen, and that's before the pandemic and after the pandemic. We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and brought back the beautiful phrase, made in the USA. To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed the largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow. When our nation...
I mean, now I'm going to reveal my pro basic income bias here. People don't need giant government training programs. What they need is money in their pocket so that they can adapt for the jobs that are going to be best for them, not some bureaucrat in DC who wants to train everybody in an industry that they think is going to be the best one. This is sad coming from a Republican that's talking about like big government programs.
Was hit with the terrible pandemic, we produced not one, but 2 vaccines with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They called it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now, a medical miracle. Another administration would have taken 3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. We did it in 9 months.
10 years.
He didn't develop the vaccine.
He was just
The doctor
saying
that.
he caught the virus and then just got
Like,
every OP thing.
Pfizer and Moderna and the scientists, you know, the people that went to those terrible universities that you say are a bunch of snowflakes, those are the people that came up with the vaccine. They've been working on research and development for messenger RNA for decades. And so, like, what did Donald Trump do to invent the vaccine? Which, by the way, used stem cells, which I know a lot of Republicans are against. So I don't understand how it's possible for Donald Trump to claim credit for inventing the coronavirus vaccines.
What are stem cells?
Stem cells are like these very kind of basic forms of cells that you can use and program to like produce other kinds of cells. And it was very controversial because the Republicans were very against it because they would harvest stem cells from sometimes fetal tissue, like babies and stuff. And then, but now that it has been one of the sources of the development of these vaccines. But the main point is, like, it's not like Donald Trump signed some piece of paper and all of a sudden he was like working late at night at Mar-a-Lago in some lab developing these vaccines.
We grieve for every life lost, and we pledge in their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all. When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, we launched the fastest economic recovery our country has ever seen. We passed nearly $4 trillion.
All right, here. The fastest recovery our country has ever seen is partly because it was the greatest drop in economic growth the country has ever seen. So, like, when you go to like 15% unemployment in a few months and then you lower it to maybe like 10 or 7, that's you don't pat yourself on the back for that. That's like burning down half your house and then putting some water on it and saying, "Oh, I actually fought more fire than any house owner on my block." It's like, yeah, man, because you lit the damn thing on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if your room was a mess, Ryan,
It is.
which it is.
It is.
It is. Brandon agrees. And then you said to me, "Oh, Dad, my room has never gotten cleaner in the history of this room." I would be like, "Yeah, bro, because you made it a huge mess. I'm not going to give you a medal or a monument." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No cookie. No cookie. No milk and cookies for you. No statue.
Dollars in economic relief.
But maybe you can run for president someday. Apparently, that's all it takes.
Saved or supported over 50 million jobs and slashed the unemployment rate in half. These are numbers that our country has never seen before. We created choice and transparency in healthcare, stood up to Big Pharma in so many ways, but especially in our effort to...
Now, he promised over and over and over again that he would repeal and replace Obamacare with a healthcare program that was going to have more coverage, protection of pre-existing conditions, better quality at lower costs. He has done nothing. And he said that his plan is coming out in 2 weeks. Like, he's literally moving out of the building this week.
Yeah.
So you can't give your plan to replace Obamacare after you leave your office. You had 4 years to do it.
To get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world.
Hey, hold on a second. Brandon, you're being snarky in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So apologize to Milo.
Milo left.
Okay, Milo, if you're seeing this, I want to apologize. I didn't realize that Brandon was being snarky. Brandon, go apologize to the camera.
Apologize.
Sorry, Milo,
Why?
Bad behavior.
for being
Snarky.
rude and snarky.
Yeah, that you let your emotions get ahead of you. And type in the chat that you're sorry, that you will try to be kinder. Okay? You can disagree, but don't be like this guy. Don't be orange.
Choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court. We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written. For years, the American people pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We have given our brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before, and to enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again.
Okay, so the wall. Let's get some facts about this wall. Hold on a second. Oh, there's so much fact checking I missed. But hold on. Let's see if we get to the wall. Okay, here we go. At the close of 2020, the Trump administration had built 40 miles of bollard-style fencing where none existed, a fraction of the 450 miles that Trump claimed. The administration also had built 344 miles of fencing to replace barriers that had already existed. I think I actually am going to say that the Washington Post is being a little bit too critical of Trump. Yes, there was 40 miles of new wall or fencing, but he did make improvements to 344 miles where there were rundown barriers. So he should be able to take credit for a few hundred. So in a strange turn of events, Milo, you'll appreciate this. I'm going to say that we should give Trump credit for investing in around 400 miles of wall. Some of it's new, most of it's improved. But, he did do that. And if you like that, then you got to give him credit. I personally don't think that was the best use of resources, but that's his thing. If I were him, and you really care about illegal immigration, you should go after the employers that exploit undocumented labor.
So they don't have a reason to come.
That's right. But he won't do that because a lot of those businesses they profit from it, and they need to make the muns, and then they take that muns and they give it to the Donald.
Please don't lose that respect. We reclaimed our sovereignty.
Whoa. Did he say that? What's he talking about? Hold on.
Your sound.
Oh, I just unmuted us.
How many people are on this?
This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador,
People.
along with more than
117.
450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again.
The world respects us again. Okay, here we go. Surveys show that in many developed countries, favorable opinions of the U.S. tanked under Trump, especially regarding the country's management of the coronavirus. For instance, 41% in the UK expressed a favorable opinion of the U.S., the lowest percentage registered ever. In France, only 31% see the U.S. positively, matching the grim ratings of March 2003 at the height of the Iraq War. The Germans give the U.S. 26% favorability, similar to 25% in the same 2003 poll when the U.S. invaded and occupied Iraq. So this idea that suddenly the whole world respects Trump and America because of him is actually like quite the contrary. I mean, we lived in Europe for many years under this man, and I would say a lot of Europeans do not think that he's very educated or well informed.
In my school, nobody liked Trump, and if they did, they never so openly said anything about him.
Yeah. And your school wasn't just Americans, it had people from all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you went to an international school. Okay.
Please don't lose that respect.
Dude, the moment you move out of the building,
It's gonna skyrocket.
U.S. respect is going to go way up because people know that he totally botched the coronavirus thing.
He said he didn't exist.
He said it was going to go away magically, and then you had the hydroxychloroquine and the Regeneron.
Thing he injected into himself because he was getting desperate.
Regeneron.
We reclaimed
Regeneron.
our sovereignty by standing up
Regeneron.
for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interest. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world.
All right. I don't know how many times I got to do this fact check. The way NATO works, what he's saying the countries are spending, they are not giving America that money. The way NATO payments work is it requires you, like France, Germany, UK, to spend a certain percentage of your GDP on your own military. You don't pay back the US for all the bases. So none of that money went back to the US. In fact, under Trump, we've actually spent more on the military than ever before. So this notion of, I got them to pay us is just complete malarkey. He completely either doesn't understand how NATO works, or he does and is purposely lying to his followers.
Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces in 75 years, the Space Force. And last spring, I stood at Kennedy Space Center in Florida and watched as American astronauts returned to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years. We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi.
Okay, in this case, we need to be fair. He did, under his administration, the ISIS was pretty much wiped out.
Yeah.
So we got to give him credit. I guess I would give the American military credit. I wouldn't, but we should give him credit because it did happen under his watch. And if it went badly, we would have blamed him. So if something did go well, we should acknowledge it. So that's one thing that I think Trump has done well.
We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. The Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony, not violence and bloodshed. It is the dawn of a...
Okay, so the Abraham Accords, I think this is the thing that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Netanyahu worked on. And let's see if there's any fact-checking about the Abraham Accords. Okay, here we go. Trump's reference to the violence and bloodshed is misleading. Unlike Jordan and Egypt, the Arab and North American nations extended diplomatic recognition to Israel during his presidency have never been at war with the Jewish state. Right?
Yes.
The source of the violence is between the Israelis and the Palestinians, an issue that Trump largely ignored. Helping win diplomatic recognition for Israel from Arab states is certainly a noteworthy achievement. He added that the deals came with no cost. In reality, the Trump administration made a number of deals to coax Middle Eastern and North African leaders into recognizing Israel, such as sales of U.S. weapons and upending U.S. policy towards the Western Sahara region claimed by Morocco. So, not exactly a slam dunk, although, you know, any kind of progress is good. I do feel like cutting out the Palestinians is not, like, the real solution is to come up with peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the two-state solution. Having a bunch of North African countries recognize Israel is great for Israel. It's fine. But it's not this kind of amazing Abraham deal that he likes to call it.
A new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home. I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars. Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding light, our North.
So this has come up a lot with Trump supporters talking about how he started no new wars. Barack Obama did intervene in Syria, and I guess people are saying that was a war. Barack Obama did continue the conflict in Iraq, started under George W. Bush before Obama pulled back the troops. Obama did not deploy any troops to Libya when NATO began a campaign in Libya aiming at saving civilians in Benghazi. Meanwhile, Trump did ramp up commitments in Iraq and Syria, which he needed to do to fight ISIS. He added troops in Afghanistan. He escalated hostilities with Iran, including assassinating their general. And what he says is that this was carried out in accordance with the Authorization for Use of Military Force resolution of 2001. So I guess they're saying that that wasn't a war. I think it's pretty debatable. If you ask me, who has brought more peace, I would say under Obama, we basically stopped and seriously dialed back Iraq and Afghanistan wars. And I think Trump, did not reduce troops overseas as much as Obama did. But let's see. Let's see what else he talks about.
Our unwavering conviction has been that we are here to serve the noble, everyday citizens of America. Our allegiance is not to the special interests, corporations, or global entities. It's to our children, our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least
resistance. I don't know. I would say the last year, with darn near 500,000 Americans dying under his watch because he refused to take coronavirus seriously, other than constantly reminding us that it came from China. Yes, we get it. Duly noted, stipulated that coronavirus started in China, that China should have done more. But at the end of the day, you got to put on your big boy pants and be the president of the United States. That means you got to solve problems. You can't just keep pointing fingers. That would have been the path of least resistance, not what you did.
criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do.
We elected you to lead the country in a crisis. We elected you to unify the country. And you're leaving with 400,000 dead and with a bunch of your radical supporters literally breaking into the U.S. Capitol and starting an insurrection with zip ties and pipe bombs.
Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Together.
Oh. Hey, what are you doing, dude?
They said a book.
Oh, 1984 by Orwell? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good book. Okay, so listen. Should I let people know that if they offer a super chat, that I'm going to give you guys each 20%, right?
Okay. So remember to super chat.
So remember to super chat if you want. What will you spend the money on if you get any money from super chat?
Might use some for charity.
Really?
Yeah.
To what charity?
Think about it.
What about you, Brandon? If you got any super chat money, what would you do?
I don't know.
All right, well, you're not, that's not very compelling. I don't think people are going to want to give money to I don't know. You want to try again?
No.
All right. Well, I'm not going to hold my breath on the super chats.
That we put the American people back in charge of our country. We restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America, no one is forgotten because everyone matters and everyone has a voice. We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights because we are all made equal by God.
We're all equal, but when the police are seen killing other people until they're suffocating them, all you said was that white lives matter. But now he's like, what? Who is he? He thinks he's like Martin Luther King all of a sudden. Who is this guy?
Donald Trump.
Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you.
You were not always loyal to us, man. You lied. Constantly. You know what? Hold on a second. I need to do something here. I need to show folks some craziness. Oh!
Let's go.
You got a super chat?
Thank you. Yes.
What?
Oh, again? No way.
All right. Now, knock it off, dude. You can thank them without ringing the bell right in my ear. And you need to buy books, according to Fountain Pen Teacher. Okay? So let me just share some of... I think this is worth looking at. Let me just show you guys. Let me pull it up. So bear with me. Because, this guy is making these remarks, as if we weren't around for the last 4 years and we don't know the crazy nonsense that this guy was saying. So I just want to acknowledge what this piece of work had been saying for the last 4 years before we move on with the speech. And so let me, this is basically from 2015. Here we go. Ooh, share. Hold on. My little button system. Whoa.
Oh! $300! No way!
Haha.
No, that's NT.
Oh,
What's
I don't know what currency
What
that
is that?
You go
Oh.
Google it. What
Okay.
currency is NT?
okay.
But you should thank you, J. Brian Anderson,
Thank
regardless.
you very much.
Yes, thank
That
you.
could be worth a lot.
Okay, so look at this guy.
Damage.
This guy, what did he say about ABC News? Fake news, a real disgrace. Fake pollsters. What the? Sam Hill, Lukey Monster?
How much?
How much?
What the?
What's happening here?
What just?
Oh my god, dude!
What the?
Oh my god, this is oh my god! Bring it up, bring it up. This is the
All
most
right.
he's made in one video.
Okay, guys.
What?
Yes, thank.
What?
All right. NT is Taiwan, and
No.
Arden, thank you.
Again, 20 more.
Okay, Lukey Monster, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, hold on. Can we get back? All right, now get
Okay,
back to this nonsense that we're calling BS on the orange guy, and you guys are just counting,
Yes.
right? This is not about your
I thought it was Nerds
video
for Humanity.
games. This is Nerds for Humanity,
They want us to
not
do
nerds
stuff.
for video games.
Just
All
the
right.
NT to dollars.
Okay.
$dollars.
Yeah, you learn about currency. Okay. Fake pollsters produce a illegal suppression poll. Let's see. Stacey Abrams will destroy the state. Totally unqualified. Destroy a great state. Crime loving.
Okay, it's $10 for that.
Fake reporter. The AFL-CIO. Exorbitant does not worth it. Wow, you got another
10 more
super chat.
dollars.
Which says every time you
Thank
see
you.
one, you thank them.
Thank you very
Can
much.
you ring it?
Yeah, ring it, but briefly.
We should have the gong ready.
Okay, allegations of bounties on American forces. Another hoax by the fake news media. So I don't have time to go over all of the crazy stuff that this guy has said. Oh my God, the impeachment inquiry, it goes on and on and on. MSNBC, he's gone after. Robert Mueller, lied to Congress, total bust, incompetent, highly conflicted, witch hunt. Oh my God, look at this.
That's a lot of damage.
So this piece of work is talking about how he only puts the country ahead of everything. He spends all his time. I mean, we don't have time to look at all this craziness. All right, let's keep going. I just wanted to call BS on a man who just can't tell the truth.
We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House,
When is he going to congratulate Joe Biden?
I don't think he will.
Why not?
He might. I'm just saying.
He should.
He should.
I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as...
You have presided over the greatest polarization. You know what polarization means?
No.
So, like, you have basically a continuum that has two endpoints. And when something is polarized, you have basically, you're pushing people to the outer edges. And this man has presided over a country where literally half of the country believes that the next president was completely illegitimate, despite the fact that no evidence stood up in a court of law. 60 court cases.
That's a lot.
The Republican Party Secretary of State in Georgia did a recount 3 times, found no difference. Like, his own attorney general said there was no fraud, yet he has convinced half the country that the next president is completely illegitimate. And now you're talking to us about the American spirit? You have the audacity, after you spent 2 months undermining confidence in the democratic process, in the greatest democracy
Verified nerd.
in the world. Welcome, Verified Nerd. What's his name?
Spy Hunter.
Welcome, Spy Hunter. So this is just BS, this guy.
As dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes. For these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality. What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history.
The nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history. You pull out of the Paris Climate Accords. You accuse half the country of stealing your so-called landslide election. You refuse to acknowledge a global pandemic. You tell people who are wearing masks that they're being politically correct. What is this nobility that you've demonstrated? You are a complete disgrace.
We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America. The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity. That means focusing on what we have in common.
Focusing on what we have in common? Have you ever heard this man focus on what we have in common? He's attacked people who kneel to protest police brutality at NFL games. He's attacked people who protest people who are getting killed by police because primarily of the color of their skin. He has called people, public health officials, traitors. This man, like now, the day before you move out, you talk about national unity after you spent 4 years splitting this country apart?
The heritage that we all share. At the center of this heritage is also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only if we forget who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America. It's not even thinkable. Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values and most enduring traditions. In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or...
You know, you're so big on free speech. Why doesn't he have any press conferences where he takes questions? If he wanted to get his word out, he could just put himself out there. He don't have to hide behind Twitter. You're the president. He had every opportunity. And if you want, if you say you're for capitalism, you have to support free enterprise. And you can't tell companies to give you like front page treatment every time you want to talk about something. And if you violate their rules, they're going to kick you off, man. That's how it works.
Or enforce rigid orthodoxies and punitive speech codes. We just don't do that. America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from those with whom we disagree.
No, nobody needs to be sheltered and protected from those you disagree. However, companies are not required to promote violence and promote conspiracy theories that drive millions of people to now think that their country doesn't have real elections, that promotes conspiracy theories, that convinces other people that there's some great secret pizza parlor that Hillary Clinton kidnaps people in. Like, this is just crazy talk. And you as the president promoted it. You retweeted, you liked, you talked about all this, rigged this and stolen that. And you brought it upon yourself, and you got impeached twice, and your own vice president was hunted down in the Capitol.
That's not who we are.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
It will never be who we are.
No, never, because you're going to be gone.
For nearly 250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence. These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday citizens to set out across a wild continent and carve out a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle and our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years...
Now, one thing that I should note, and I don't know if it's coincidental, but he released his video just as Biden and Harris were doing their COVID-19 memorial, which you can see on the bottom right. This is just sad. I don't know. I hope it's a coincidence.
Years, one image rises in my mind above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people. They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag. It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country. This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction that America is the greatest nation in all of history. We are and must always be a land of hope.
Now, this whole kind of refrain about America being the greatest country basically puts anyone who disagrees with him in some bucket where people are like, what? You don't think we're the greatest? Love it or leave it. Right? I find it's so divisive, this type of line. This is sort of like when people at a Trump rally chant USA as if like his political opponents, domestic political opponents, somehow like are rooting for another country. It's sad.
Hope of light and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past 4 years, I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh to a great square of Polish people in Warsaw, from the floor of the Korean Assembly to the podium at the United Nations General Assembly, and from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore, I fought for you, I fought for your family, I fought for our country.
Is this the point where he's going to concede to President-elect Biden? I don't think he's even used the word Joe Biden.
Probably. He's going to say, like, President-elect. Like, I'll concede, but he probably won't say...
He won't say what?
President-elect Biden.
So, but you think he'll concede? All right, well, hopefully.
Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday, I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning. There's never been anything like it. The belief that a nation must serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve. Our community.
You know, it would have been nice if you got the vaccinations out. Your Operation Warp Speed.
He didn't really have an Operation, like, Warp Distribute.
Yeah, he had an Operation Warp Approve of the work that the Pfizer and Moderna people did. And then he said, oh, well, I guess it's up to the states. Lazy. The man's lazy.
Communities will flourish. Our people will be prosperous. Our traditions will be cherished. Our faith will be strong. And our future.
By the way, if you're enjoying this stream, can you hook us nerds up and give us a like and a share? It helps the channel get discovered more.
Future will be brighter than ever before. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come.
Where is the concession and the congratulations to Joe Biden?
He won't probably.
He's running out of time. Look, it's about to play the next video. Here's how a grown-up would concede. You ready?
Yep.
I strongly disagree with President-elect Joe Biden's vision for America. And I will continue fighting for our values of freedom and Second Amendment, First Amendment, all the things that the MAGA people feel strongly about.
Oh.
However, I acknowledge that the will of the people trumps, well, I wouldn't use that. The will of the people supersedes any partisan views. And therefore, as is our country's great tradition, I congratulate Joseph Biden as the president-elect. I wish him and his family all the best for the good of our country, and I will work to partner with them wherever we can agree, and where we disagree, we will continue a respectful debate, and may the best ideas prevail.
Yeah, but he probably won't say that.
Let's see. He might. He might.
Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Nope.
No, we didn't get that. Didn't get that from old Donnie.
Nope.
Well, okay.
Wow.
So I think
What a stream.
that is going to take us to our final part of the stream, which is let's do an Ask Me Anything where people can ask me or Brandon. Are you going to rejoin us, or are you just going to hang out with your chat buddies?
I'll do both.
Okay. So you can ask Brandon or Ryan or me, Tom, anything you want, and we'll try and answer the questions. So let's see in the chat if there are any questions. Oh, new member. Yeah, welcome, Brian Anderson.
And, you didn't get to see, but Spy Hunter gave us 5.
Thank you, Spy Hunter. And Spy Hunter was a member too, right? That's like very kind of temple feeling right now. J. Brian Anderson has become a Nerds for Humanity member. All right, there are not any questions. Maybe there aren't any questions for me or for you guys. I thought the chat would have questions. Oh, yes, we got a question. Scotty Joe 22.
Oh.
How have you raised 2 great little boys? Well, they have their moments. I will say, let me ask you guys, what are some things that I have done to help you guys grow up?
Education.
Education?
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What do you think?
Another verified nerd. Yay. Wow, dude, this chat is blowing up.
All right. I will. You don't have any answer, Brandon? Ryan? What's the one of the lessons I always tell you? When you make actions and you make decisions, what do they have?
Consequences. Consequences.
So that's one of the things I've tried to impart upon you. I don't know if it landed, but
usually negative.
Yeah, I also let you know about negative consequences. When you make choices that are not good, they result in losses of privileges. If Trump had that, maybe he would be a little bit use better judgment. Who inherits Nerds for Humanity, Brandon or Ryan? Do either of you want to take it on? Anyone?
What is
inherit? Like when I kick the bucket,
take over.
who takes over the channel?
When you like use the toilet?
No, not when I use the toilet.
When you die.
When I kick the bucket, like when I die.
Oh, when you die?
Yeah.
Oh, who will take it?
Yeah.
I think probably me.
Okay, Brandon wants it. I don't know. You do like hanging out with the buddies on the chat room.
Yeah.
Did someone give us $100 super chat?
Yeah.
In total, $160.72.
Okay, so the good news is I'm going to give 20%
To each.
10% to each, right?
Hey,
already
you changed
calculated
that.
it.
You changed it.
No, it was 20%, Dad.
20% to both of you.
You said and
No,
like higher if we're good. So
Yeah, I think I was pretty good.
Okay, so, but so you know, the balance is going to go to the Nerds for Humanity Growth Fund, and I want to share with you guys a little tidbit. If any of you have recently become members and you're wondering where the money goes, let me show you something. Hold on. And I think you're going to be super excited. I know I am. But we took the Nerds for Humanity member money
Wow, there's a lot of
and we
questions.
bought some ads. Well, basically, we bought one ad on the David Pakman show.
And this is how we got a bunch
So
of
let me show you guys.
Topics from elections to poverty, climate change, corruption, and much more. And you'll find long-form interviews with guests ranging from Andrew Yang and Anthony Scaramucci, panel debates and discussions with analysts and content creators, live streams where Tom, the host of the channel, breaks down complicated topics in interesting ways. I'm a big fan. If you're looking to discover a political commentary show with a really unique and innovative approach, check out Nerds for Humanity. Go search.
Yeah. So my point is that when you support the channel through super chats or members, I don't spend any of the money on personal items for myself. For the 20% deal for these two nerdlings, they will spend it on. I don't know. He said he might give it to charity. Will you really give any to charity?
I don't know. I said it might.
Oh, I already calculated it.
And what are you going to spend the money on?
I don't know.
Okay, they refuse to reveal it. But at any rate, the money goes to growing the channel. Why do we want the channel to be big? Because we want to attract more big-time guest interviews. And then when we talk about important issues and break down policy and keep it real, more people can hear the good word of the Nerd Nation. So at any rate, check it out, the David Pakman show. It's only one video. I couldn't afford. As we get more member revenue, we'll kind of pour it back in. The other
Why don't
thing.
you interview him?
Who? David Pakman? Yeah, I should ask him. But now that I'm an advertiser, I don't know if it'll be weird to have him on the show. But we should try that.
Yeah, I will definitely do this.
Okay, were there any other questions? Oh, there were some other questions, Brandon. We forgot
Yeah,
them.
like,
All right,
are
let's
you
see.
married, Tom?
Where did you get that one?
Barbara Lockhart.
Barbara Lockhart. I am married. Mrs. Nerd is upstairs. She doesn't like to spend a lot of time on camera. But she does yell at the screen when she watches my interviews with my MAGA brother because she is very anti-Trump.
She always like.
She's
always
probably
is
watching
like,
Chinese
no,
cartoons.
you did this, blah blah blah. No, you should. No, that was only because. Blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Will there be a Nerdlings for Humanity? I think that's a lot of work, but maybe we'll have you guys back on from time to time as a recurring co-host.
Yeah, because.
Oh, we want to thank Ronald Marzette for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Help spread the good word. Appreciate it. Let's see. Torps. Trump always got rewarded for bad choices. I love it.
Spy Hunter.
Ooh.
$20. What? Oh, $20. Oh.
How
That's nice.
Okay, how important? Just say their name. Thank you. Oh, Spy Hunter
again.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
He did 25
Hey, that's
in
the
total.
Spy versus Spy.
That's Spy versus Spy. Yes, from Mad magazine. Okay, how important is critical thinking? Do you think that speech we just heard, is another call to violence for Trump? I think critical thinking is crucial, which is why I try to teach these guys to always think about other perspectives, think about evidence, and think about motives, and try and evaluate things, and don't assume that what you read or what someone in power says is necessarily true. At the same time, you shouldn't assume that what someone in power says is necessarily false either. But yeah. Where is the bell from?
Switzerland.
This one is from Switzerland.
It's a cowbell.
It's a cowbell. We used to live in Switzerland for almost 5 years. This one is from Tokyo. From a shrine.
From our friends.
And so yeah, we have both continents covered. Okay. Brandon and Ryan, who is your favorite uncle or aunt?
I think.
$5 more. Yes, thank you. Dude, this is like we get so much.
You guys are lucky.
Profit.
So who's the favorite uncle or aunt?
Mine is Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
What about Uncle Peter, the MAGA brother?
No.
He's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only problem.
Thank you, Tranquil Rabies. All right. I'll see if there's any other question.
What's the process?
What is the process? It's very easy. You contact them and you say, I want to run an ad. And then in this case, David said, oh, okay, we checked out your channel. We like what you're doing. Here's the cost. And basically then we
How
paid
much
them.
damage was it?
I guess I will tell it was $1,000.
Yo.
So it costs a lot of money. So as you can tell, the super chat and member money is not going to my Lamborghini fund, which is fine. It's great.
Wow.
Oh, Dan Value says he heard about us from the David Pakman show. So you see, it works.
Woo.
Okay. Hey, you know what? George Garcia wants to know. You guys have to give. Can you give an examples of things that you may spend the money on?
Maybe. Well, my birthday is in a few days.
Okay. So what are you going to spend it on?
I don't know.
Give me an example. Don't be so cryptic.
I might get another trail cam.
You might get another trail cam
A fox, like a
coyote.
and other stuff.
because you found a coyote in the backyard.
Yeah,
He
try to
wants to
get
find more.
under the fence, but then it smelled our dog. So.
Yeah. And then what about you, Brandon? What are you going to spend the money on? You know, you're going to buy what?
Gems.
Gems on your stupid video games.
Don't call it stupid though.
But it brings you joy.
Yeah, it brings me joy.
Okay.
He buys gems on Brawl Stars.
Okay, is the ad working? I think it is. I think it is.
It is what it
I think we picked up a few hundred subs already, so we're very happy, and we are grateful to all the Nerds for Humanity members and super chatters who have contributed to it, because without it, I would not have been able to buy it, because Mrs. Nerd would not be down with that.
$10 more.
Woo! Thank you.
In A. I don't
All right,
know.
who was your favorite president? That's easy. My favorite president was Obama. Love the guy.
Obama.
Love the guy. I actually supported him very early, before Iowa, when everybody...
Can you share that
He
picture of like a view and
high-fived him.
I high-fived Barack Obama when he
Yeah.
came to Seattle, and he could barely fill a room. There were only a couple, maybe 150 people there.
Wait, do you still have that photo of you in the crowd?
Yeah, but I'd have to find it. It would take me too long.
$10 more.
Wow, you guys are
Dude, we're
crushing,
rich.
man. You're
I'm
rich
gonna
for
retire.
a trail cam or gems. I love it. I love it.
What?
Okay, how old are the Nerdlings? How old?
13.
10.
Okay, there you go.
I just turned 13.
Critical thinking is crucial. I agree. Here from David Pakman. Thank you, Tranquil. Appreciate it. More cowbells. A lot of David Pakman guys. All right. Oh, they said you guys have public relations skills. Oh, Nerdling looks like a mini Peter. Ooh.
Which one?
You, dude.
Go. Good.
All right. Arden, I love capitalism, free speech, patriotism, and other principles that the Republic came to represent. I wish the Democratic Party advocated more for those things. Arden, I hear where you're coming from. I used to be a Republican for decades. And that party that is called the Republican Party today, the Trump, the radical MAGA party it's just, I don't understand them. I empathize with their anger and frustration, but I think it's highly unconstructive and dangerous. Okay. Do you have any pets? Spy Hunter wants to know.
Yes, doggo. Dog
2
and
birds
2 birds.
and fish.
And like 4 fish.
Fish,
Oh,
dog.
we have some right there.
Yeah, fish, dog, yellow lab,
Birds.
2 parakeets.
Yeah.
And then the coyotes are in the back. They're not really our pets.
But they come into our yard.
They do. They would probably kill those parakeets.
No, they can't catch them. They can't fly.
Huh?
Or climb trees.
No, but they can sneak up, dude. Coyotes.
Whoa!
Super chat from Dell for
Thank
Trail
you.
Cam and Gems for
1,500.
Joy. I love it. J. Brian Anderson, MT.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what look up the exchange
I
rate.
know, I already did. It
All
was
right.
a bunch.
Okay,
That's all
it's a
I'm saying.
bunch.
A bunch.
A bunch is not very good math. Go to Google and say NT 1500 to USD. Okay. Do you guys see yourself going into politics?
$53. Nice. Clap, clap, clap. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay,
Answer the
bell,
question.
bell. Wow, I can't count this.
Do you, Brandon, answer the question here.
What did it say?
Do you see yourselves going into politics?
Well, I've always liked to be, Ryan's probably going to be an engineer.
I like building stuff.
Yeah, he likes.
You're more of a builder than a politician.
Yeah, just
which is, we need people. What would you want to build?
Maybe, stuff to prevent, global warming and stuff.
Okay, so you want to build, environmentally
$5 more.
Sustainable production.
$5 more.
Brandon, do you want to go into politics?
Probably not. Oh, another $5. Okay. We're wow. Okay, I'm really.
A Tesla fund. I love it. I would love to get a Tesla. Jennifer, I tried to get Mrs. Nerd a Tesla.
But she got a 2016 used
Volvo. I mean, she likes the Volvos. What can you do? All right. Arden, thanks for the super chat. All right. So, and then I'll answer. I don't have any plans to go into politics in the near future, but maybe when the Nerdlings go to college or basically leave the house, I'll be able to do more stuff. But in the meantime, I'm spending a lot of time on ofthepeople.us, which is a volunteer project where we built a way to match local candidates and volunteers. Check it out, ofthepeople.us. I'll put it in the chat. Oh, I should also let people know that we might be able to get Andrew Yang for a one-on-one interview. And in order to do that, I got to give you guys a link to donate to Yang. So let's see. Where in the Sam Hill is the link? Oh, crikey.
You deleted it.
Did I delete? Where's the darn link? I think he gave us the same one between... Okay, whatever. I'm going to put it out there. Okay, so I'm going to put a link in the chat, and I'll put it in the description if you're watching this on replay. I hope this link works. I should probably check it first. This is the first time I'm announcing this, which is I'm going to be co-hosting a special fundraising event for Andrew Yang for mayor. The link is now in the chat. And you can buy your tickets there. It'll help support Andrew running for mayor. And I should do share. So this is where you can donate. Starts at $250. It ain't cheap. You can just make a donation down here if you are unable to attend and you just want to throw $10 or something his way. Whoops, that has my credit card information.
Don't share that.
Let me stop sharing.
Oh my God, what a fail.
No. It just shows the last 4 digits. Hopefully nobody will. Oh God, they will replay it, but it's fine. I hope.
Just don't.
Please don't hack into my account. But go and donate, because if we can raise a bunch of money for this event, I might be able to get Yang for a follow-up conversation on this channel. And what I'd love to do is really spend a good 40 minutes in a really nice kind of long-form conversation. So,
Are you gonna keep answering the questions?
okay. The Yang donation goal, I think we're going to try and raise 15,000. So if we can get to 15,000, I'm pretty sure we can get him on one-on-one. So we have 18,000 subs. So if every sub gave $1, we would hit it. Or if you gave more, then we would hit it faster. So, okay. So let's see. Any other questions?
We have to like recontinue maybe
From before?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Which one is more likely to run for office? That would be this guy. He gave the head shake. But this guy may be more likely to build some sustainable way to see the politician and the builder.
I will hack into your account and give you money, haha.
All right. Next question.
Ardent, man.
Arden's hooking us up. Andrew Yang for Prez has 2 turtles. Ooh. Arden, I like George Washington and Teddy Roosevelt. Here's more Australian dollars. I like George Washington, of course, and Teddy. I just find Obama, I just finished his book. I just find him to be a really thoughtful guy.
Without us? I didn't know you did that.
Yeah. And then Jennifer Montgomery, a Tesla fund would be better than a Lamborghini fund. I agree. I'm not a big... I use Lamborghini as an exaggeration.
For fun.
But I do find Ferraris beautiful.
I think Teslas are like the fastest 0 to 60.
Yeah, they accelerate. But they don't have that Italian sort of soulfulness.
They're more futuristic.
True.
They have like a freaking iPad, like...
Yes, I know. Ryan loves the Tesla.
Yeah,
you
the
can watch
Tesla is
YouTube
so
on it.
OP.
You can watch YouTube on
Yeah,
it.
you can watch Nerds.
And Netflix.
Yes. Okay, this is not a Tesla advertising. Do you have regular or hybrid wolf coyotes?
What were they?
I think they were like tan colored.
And they're pretty small, so I think they're regular. Because if they were hybrid wolf, they would be bigger.
Yeah, it like tried to squeeze under the fence. So.
Jay Bryan says you should go into infrastructure policy. Yeah, you should think about that. That's like energy, transportation, things that are more scalable, sustainable. Something to think about.
Oh, her wife likes Volvo.
Oh no, Scotty's wife likes the Volvo too.
But that doesn't make him bad.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I just feel for him.
I'm not bad. My wife likes a Volvo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, people are saying nice carbon capture tech, Ryan. You can invent something that takes the carbon out of the atmosphere.
Trees.
The way Brandon loves raising money, he has a future in politics. Oh, shoot. Yang donation goal is 15,000. Yes, I would like to get him on the one-on-one.
$5 yay from
Wow.
Arden. Oh my God. Arden. We should get him on the show soon.
Arden, DM me on Twitter if you ever want to come on the show and talk about politics and stuff, man.
He's done so
I'm
much.
on Twitter at Nerds for Yang.
He's done like
a lot of damage.
How much he's done.
Oh, what is the max contribution allowed for New York for, I think it's 2,000.
Now I have to calculate again.
Okay.
Just calculate it after, bro.
All right.
Yeah, but it disappears.
Arden's going to hack into my account.
And
Trump asked Russia to hack. Okay. Question, do you ever a very good question. Do we ever discuss other political ideologies? So I think the Evil Nomad is saying, do we just talk about why Trump is bad, or do we ever talk about other approaches to governing? That's a good question. Like you were asking me, Ryan, about communism. And we talked about how our family was kicked out of China because our family was very anti-communist in the 40s and 50s. And then, but maybe this is a good point from Evil Nomad. I probably haven't talked to you about libertarianism, have I? No. All right, remind me. We'll talk about that this weekend. It's actually quite appealing in many ways. It's basically a system of a belief that government should be as small as possible, and people should have as much sort of freedom from government intervention as possible. And the argument is that government is inherently inefficient.
Kind of like not like the opposite of communism.
Yes, it's like the opposite of communism, exactly. Now, one of the problems, in my opinion, and you can draw your own conclusions, is that sometimes you do need organized efforts. I give you a perfect example, a global pandemic. If you just say, well, we don't really need a government, everybody just...
have problems.
Yeah, so, but, you know, there you have it. And Elisa thinks she can see you running for office, Brandon, so get your speech ready.
Yeah.
Let's see. Arden saying they wanted to make Washington king, but he refused. I love that. Yeah, that is pretty true. Yeah. Now, if they offered to make Trump king, I think
he would definitely accept it.
Oh, yeah.
You think he would accept it?
Yeah.
Do you think they would? Are you listening to the conversation, or are you
Yeah.
just counting super chats?
No,
By Ardent.
I'm doing both.
Okay. So I agree. I think Trump would probably have accepted the king designation.
Yeah, Arden also just turned into a verified nerd like on this video.
Yeah, Arden, bro.
Dude, we need to get him on the show.
If Brandon says we need to get you on the show. So have Justin Amash on your show. I've asked Justin to come on. Part of the challenge, and this is why we take the money from Super Chat and memberships and put it into advertising so that we can grow the audience, is these big-time folks, like if they're like, what, Nerds for Humanity, that only has 15,000 subs.
Actually, no, 18,000.
Now we have 18,000. But if we could get to, like, someday if we get to 100,000, I feel like we could get any guests we want, which would be amazing. Okay. Yes, Jennifer is saying kudos to Ardent for the donation. Libertarian sounds like the free market. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. How about democratic socialism like Australia? That's a good point. We have talked about
Australia like?
Australia. Well, I don't know Australia well, but I can tell you, like in lots of Europe and in the Nordic countries, they have an approach where they have a very strong social safety net, like strong government programs, but then they still have free companies that compete. So they do this kind of like hybrid surf and turf approach. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? I'm scrolling through. Okay, I think we got through all of the questions.
Long time.
So, some key takeaways. First of all, please hook a brother up. And
Yeah, we got so much from this one video.
Yes, hook us up with the share and the like and the sub.
And super chat.
No, they already super chatted enough, Ryan. Brandon, sorry. I get you guys mixed up. Okay, number 2, please consider donating to the Yang mayoral campaign, because if this link gets enough money, then not only will Yang do that private fundraising event, but then I can get him on the Nerds channel, which is what I really want, to do a one-on-one and really get into the details. One of my dreams would be to look at data and like 5 cool charts about the problems New York is facing as described in a data visualizations, in 5 separate data visualizations, and get kind of nerd out. I think that would be cool. I probably just lost half our audience by describing that, but that's fine.
Describing what?
Looking at charts together with Andrew Yang. Would you guys like that? Would you like? Oh, Evil Nomad would love to talk to you, brothers. Yeah,
Maybe we should get Lukey Monster because
Oh, what do you think about land value taxation? I don't know a lot about it, Alex, but I generally am a...
Oh, $10 more.
Wow, Spy Hunter's on...
We're just, like...
Spy Hunter, so I hope Spy Hunter didn't steal my credit card and it's like giving me my own muns. Are political systems that fail to evolve and do?
Ardent. Let's go. Ardent, do.
Guys, just calm yourselves.
It's
Calm
good.
yourselves.
It's
Okay.
good, though.
So, first of all, let's answer Spy Hunter's question.
Oh.
That's my automated animation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So, are all political systems that fail to evolve doomed? I think anything that fails to evolve is doomed. I think everything needs to evolve.
Ardent.
Andrew Yang saying, way better guess than Peter. Oh, we won't tell Peter that. Ardent saying, hey, I can educate you on Australian politics. Our right-wing party is called the Liberal Party. It's pretty weird. Been watching since the beginning of your app. Okay, Ardent, can you DM me? Can you, if you're on Twitter, can you DM me? Or if you are on email, just email tom@nerdsforyang.com. And we'll schedule a time to have you on. It would be really cool to talk about Australian politics. I am particularly curious about how the Australians are managing relations with the Aboriginal communities and whether or not that's like an issue or how it's being resolved. What happened to the stream with your brother? He was supposed to be on yesterday. He overslept and
Because he was at parties.
because he was partying. And
Wait, you were supposed to do one?
yeah, yesterday, MAGA Mondays. And then by the time he woke up, it was dinner, and Mrs. Nerd got mad at me in the past for skipping dinner for his streams, which I understand. Okay.
We just keep on getting this.
Yes. Innovation is key when you have other nations around. I agree. I think, and also because the world is changing, and the things that worked in the 1900s are not going to work in the 20th century, and the 20th century is not going to work in the 21st. Maybe this is why I was a hardcore free market Republican, and then I've realized over time that our problems, many problems are best solved by free markets, but many other ones, they do require more of a concerted effort, because sometimes the market doesn't reward what's best for the greater good. Any rate, I am going to say goodbye because we've been online for 2 hours.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Yes, so an
Okay.
hour and 40 minutes.
Almost 2 hours.
And don't forget to like before. Hey, you guys want to say any goodbyes before we go?
Yay! Goodbye! Goodbye, nerds!
That's
Bye.
right. Goodbye, nerds.
Bye, nerds!
Peace out.
Peace out!
Oh, I don't have an end stream. There it is.